Alright everyone, welcome to my Begonia class. So this is all from my found knowledge and I've wanted to share that with y'all, especially with, um, I think there's going to be more Begonias being shown up everywhere, and I always get questions on how to care for Begonias since they are a little bit, harder for some people, and then I know that from my own experience. I started off with Begonias. Sorry on the lighting. This is as best as we get right now. But I have some few Begonias here. Maybe I can adjust this light over here. There we go. That way y'all can see the Begonias better. Okay, so we have some few Begonias here, and then today I'm going to be talking about cane Begonias. So what are cane Begonias? Cane Begonias are this style of Begonias that have this stem to them. So the other style are rhizomatous, meaning they have a rhizome. They are in the soil. These are pretty much ready to be transplanted. They are from my plants themselves, and I propagated them. And I'll remove this one right here. This one has a nice good root ball, so I can show this one to y'all. But as you see here, this is a nice good root ball. This is in soil right now. The substrate is decent. This is just what I had right now for myself growing, so that's what I had. And it started off actually in sphagnum moss, and so you can do sphagnum moss and soil if you want to do that. But I don't know. If I tell y'all everything, it's just gonna take a really long time. But so for starters off, lighting. These type of begonias can take a little bit more of a direct lighting, but when a more like shaded area of your outside, if you're gonna do outside, it just has to be kind of like with some shaded area and bright indirect light, and that's usually like how I have it, and that helps me out a lot. Whenever I have them growing out there, they'll just grow really nicely. This is also another prop, as you see. Started off as a stem, so that's how you do with lighting. You could also do grow lights, like as you see here before, behind me. These are some grow lights that I picked up, I believe, at Lowe's. And then these other ones, I believe, are the small Marina lights. So those are the ones that I have. And then there's just a few other ones. These are usually the ones that I use to grow, and they do really well. For humidity, I really don't really focus on humidity. You can if you want to. I think if you want to, for like as humid as it gets, I place it. It's my grow tent, because I don't know, it just all builds up with like condensation in there, because I'll spray down everything in there with water, and then it'll get a little humid, and that's when they like it, but also you have to be worried about your props, because they'll have some damage to the foliage. Some of it might just get a little bit more damage like this, I would say. This is more of a damage example if I could show y'all. You see right there, that one's super damaged. It has that spot on it from the water spot, so it was probably left on there. So you could, as long as there's circulation going through, you could spray them down with water. You can also, if you want to do it on a more safer way, you could do a tray, and then place water in there, and then the begonias, and then what they'll do is they'll absorb water from the bottom, and they'll only take up as much as they needed. So as long as you put them in there and leave it with some water, they'll just absorb it, and they'll take up the water on there. So begonias are pretty much one of my favorite topics to talk about, because I failed so many times in growing my begonias that it was just like I was wondering what I was doing wrong, and I kept seeing people do like examples and videos, and I'm just like, how can I do it? Because so what I started off with was rhizomatous, and with rhizomatous begonias, I just always had a issue with in the beginning because of the watering, and I was over watering it, and so I've learned a little bit more on how to water the plants myself, and that's with when they're rhizomatous or like some more gentle type of plant. I just put them in bottom watering, and that's usually a big lifesaver for me because then I don't have to worry about not making to that watering schedule. Did I hear my chicken? I didn't get to that watering schedule for that plant or those plants. So I think it's really important to know those kind of tips because it really helps a person achieve their goals or even try to achieve their goals. Because I mean, sometimes we just really like a plant and we really want to try to grow them, and that for me that was begonias. And until I learned about bottom watering, that was just like something that really inspired me to keep on going and growing begonias. And now we have different ones. This one's the same one as most of these over here, but I do have some of these, as you see, have nice pretty sheen type foliage, or I think this one's like a maculata type. So I love that. And then what's my favorite thing about it is also like hearing people that have started to grow begonias and don't know, or like and have a begonia from me, because what I do is whenever I sell them, I try to sell them with like a better substrate than easier growing experience for y'all. So, and then I'm also working on a blog, so on our website on bluelotusgardens.com you can check out previous blog posts. I just got the website back, so I'm getting it all kind of organized and stuff. So it's just a little bit of like here and there, but what I really want to do is try to do. That was my rooster. His name is Albo, after like Monstera albos, because he's all white, so he's really cute. But what I want to do is have blog posts on Mondays, so I'll eventually do that for y'all. It's just I'm getting to a lot of things, and then I finished also learning about, like, in my personal time I learned about like 3D design and coding and things like that. So what I've been doing is with The Sims, so if you like that you could also check out my Patreon and get some free downloads, but harmless plug. We talked about lighting and watering, fertilizing. I don't really focus too heavy on fertilizing, and I don't think that's probably like the bad part about me about growing the plants, is that I don't, unless they do bottom watering, it's easy for me to get to that because it's like another thing on top of it. So that's why bottom watering helps. But with fertilizing, I use what is it called? A 20-20-20 mixture. So a 20-20-20, and it's like an all-purpose soluble plant food. I'll show it to y'all. So this is what I use, and it's actually really, really cheap compared to all the other ones, and that's why, because it's just 20-20-20. It's not like a high percentage for certain thing. It's pretty much like rationed out, like kind of like mid. So that's how it is. And by 20-20-20 I mean it's like 20% nitrogen, 20% phosphorus, and it has 20% potash. So those are the ones that it uses, and it's done really good. It also does really great with like outdoor plants. So if you want to kind of like not worry about something that has like, if you're over fertilizing or doing too much, I think this one's a good one. If you know of another one, definitely recommend it. But this is what I use. as a very like entry level fertilizer. Um, there is also a nutrient one that I use as well, and that is, where is it at? Oh, yes. So I use Super Thrive for my nutrients. So kind of like, this is not a fertilizer. It's just for like kind of when to like give it some little like a little snack basically. It has good ingredients in it to kind of like replenish like nutrients that it might have lost throughout the time that it was growing. So it really helps promote a lot of like growth also, and vitality with the plant. So it does show some more strength. And then also a little tip that I do is with Super Thrive is when I see like an aeroid or something kind of like getting a little damaged, what I do is I clean it off with the substrate that it's in, and then I just a little dot and then some water. I place it in that for maybe a day or two, and max a 2 days, because with the Super Thrive it'll start to get a little bit like grungy, and so you want to just not keep it there for a long time, because then it will actually rot off the plant. But it'll like what I do with that is because it'll promote growth to the plant, like give it some nutrients while it's kind of like it was in shock or like it was overwatered or something like that. I know it's a lot, but that's just like what I do. And then this is like a good example. So they usually go from this, something like this. It's like this is like the way I kind of do it, and I put a little do it like this because it'll clean off the roots, and then also it will give it some growth, and then it'll start to get healthier. This is like one of my Hoyas, for example. This is just what I do, and then it'll start to grow. It's just that's what I do for myself. You just want to make sure that you clean off all the substrate really well, so that way the soil and it won't make like more of like a mess on it, because it will like rot the plant if it's just like too much of the substrate on there, and then the nutrients, it's just not good. So just a good heads up, or good way of how I do recovery for the plants. So that's a good tip. But I think these are really cool. Like I love begonias. I think people should really try them out, give them a chance. You know, they look a little intimidating, but I think starting off with a cane begonia, it will be a really good intro into learning how to care for begonias. So next, what I want to do is I want to repot these begonias with y'all, and this way maybe you see how it's done, or like you might want to learn how to like repot a plant or how it grows better. So let me get this tray. Let's just get this one. These were some other ones that I was trying out. Just making sure that they have enough. Oh, this is mixed up. Oh well. It'll be fine. Alright. Very good. So I'm and just gently remove it from its substrate, like so. Place that in there. And then what I just do is I just backfill it a little bit. I like my substrate with a heavy amount of perlite in it, especially for begonias. Some people add vermiculite into it. I have it also, but I haven't figured how to use it because vermiculite will keep it like more watered longer because it absorbs the water. Oop. There we go. That's the first one. And it can grow really big. I think this one this one is outside. This one stays in a greenhouse. The red one. And also this one right here stays in a greenhouse. But this one could be like outside, even in direct like light for a couple of days. You might see some burning on the foliage, but it could handle it. Like maybe it's an outdoor begonia, but there are some that are outdoor begonias too. There's also this kind of like type that's called the Rex begonia. I think they modified that one. I'm not sure. Or what? It's just a really large leaf, large Hoya. Next. Oh, it already come off. Oop. You can also trellis them. They like to be trellised. I think personally, trellising the begonias will promote like more growth to them. They like it because the support. It's like Hoyas. You know, you give them a little support and they'll just take off. Oops. That one came apart. It's okay. Oh shoot. No, I'm gonna take this one out again. Oh, dude. I broke a little piece of it. It's okay. These little Lego balls. Alright. See if I have enough for 3 more. Should. We got another one over here. There we are. Oh, one more. I like this one. I think. Which one is this one? Just forgot the name for that one. Yay, I have enough for it. Alright. Put this soil substrate in here. Very good. Then what I'm going to do is... Oh. These are good examples of propagation. Okay, place them in here. That way I could bottom water them, but I have to put the water in it first. Put this down. Okay, so next, propagating. Propagating is really fun once you like get more into it and learn more on how to do it. So right now, this is a really good example of it already propagated. Some of these, and what I'm doing is like a stem cutting, and that means it's like that when I take a piece of the stem from it and place it in the substrate and allow it to grow. But what I do is I cut like around inside here, so that way the plant isn't really like the prop isn't really taking a lot of energy for it to grow, and then eventually it takes like a month or so, but there will be a new plant out of that. And so I think it's really fun. And then you could also place this in like this in a circle like that, and then you could place this in soil and make a whole new plant out of that. So you want to just do that with some that have like some good foliage on it. If not, you can rip apart some of the ones that don't as much as it does like this, and then just try that with your begonia. That's how I get a whole bunch of new ones now. And I say it's fun because I make a whole bunch of new ones like this. And this is what I mean when it gets to like this part. Like you see, this is the more viable part. Over here on this side, the more red part, you just want to cut around like that. And then just make it into like roll it like this. And what will happen is it'll grow from the cut parts inside. But when they get like this, you can't do anything about it. And then just do that. Place it in substrate and allow it to grow. It scared me. This one's probably not going to grow. maybe. You could also lay them. You could also what you could also do is cut a part of it, and then like where the veins are, you just kind of want to make slits. And then what you can do is place it on some like already sprayed down vermiculite, and then like place something on top of it, and then under a grow light, and then it'll grow. So trade secrets, and that's what I learned, and it's been so fun growing so many new begonias that way, because it's just like I get to share so many, I get to trade so many now with other people and get like a whole bunch of new ones. So I really enjoy doing that. What was I gonna do? Okay. But yeah, this is just want to make sure this is the substrate you want to use. Something that has a bit more heavier on the perlite side, less on the soil side, because that way it doesn't clog up the plant with the substrate and cause it to have like more of a chance to like what's it called, root rot. So I am done here. This was very a mini little class. There's just a lot of little things that we spoke about. So we spoke about watering, we spoke about fertilizing, we spoke about propagating. There were some tips that I gave y'all. What else? Is there anything else that I missed? Oh, I mean sizes. You want to always kind of start off with something smaller for your plant propagation, begonia plant, any of them, because when you start off in like a larger container, it's going to take a longer time for the plant to adjust inside its area, and it will take a longer time for it to root. So that's what I've learned and found from my found knowledge. And then what else? I haven't gotten to cross-pollinating them or anything like that, so I am not an expert in any of that field. But there is, so we did watering, nutrients, propagating, fertilizing. Anything else I can't think of? I think that's pretty much it. And then we repotted them. Oh, well, I guess this is going to be an example, because it does have a ugly little leaf on it. It's probably going to make it. But to like stem prop, just take a stem, you cut a little bit on it, and then you place it in your substrate. And then what I was talking about when I stem prop is that I hold it down to my thumb circumference, and you got to be careful, you don't cut yourself. But I cut gently around that, and then that's how you make a good begonia prop. So it's just super easy, very fun. And then you get to this, you cut off this little like part that's just not looking good, and then you roll it up like a little taco. No, a little burrito. Burrito, taco? Same difference, right? And then you put it in here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to probably fill it up with perlite, and then put it like under a grow light and just let it grow out. I also have my grow tent, so that's a good way of doing things. And then I have like areas where, like, when I don't get to actually, because I always mess up. I always have an area where I put my extras in there just in case the mother plants die, and that's been working really well for me. So yeah, that is it, y'all. I appreciate y'all coming by and then learning about begonias. I really love talking about plants, and I'm going to try to get to doing more live soon, now that I have a lot of things that I'm I am caught up in like my studying and stuff like that. So thank y'all for being patient with me, and also definitely check out the website and subscribe if you're not subscribed. I like to upload some fun content about plants and sometimes about my chickens, so if you like that, definitely check that out. Alright, y'all. I am out. I gotta go check on the chickens and make sure they are okay. They were going wild just a minute ago. So thank y'all again. Subscribe to the channel.